Hey guys, it's Judy here with my Life as Kikay and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing another episode in the Swatch My Stash series. Essentially what this series is I go through all my eyeshadow palettes and I swatch all the one color that I have from all of my palettes. Does that make sense? So today I'm going to be swatching all of the blue eyeshadows in all of my eyeshadow palettes. The aim of this game is to find the most pigmented, smoothest, most blendable blue in all of my palettes, and then I'll tell you what the verdict is at the very end of the video. If anything, this Swatch My Stash is really just to get my fingers all up in the makeup, have a bit of a play, remind myself what I do and don't have, so that when I have the urge to buy the newest and latest palette, I want that one, I want that one, I want all of the palettes, remind myself, oh, I already have a palette that, you know, looks like that, or I already have a color that looks like that, or if I see a color that's very unique, I know instantly that, oh, I don't have that color in my collection. Good to have a reminder of what I do have through these Swatch My Stash videos. Also, if my face looks extra shiny, very shiny and very oily, it's because I have a very dewy foundation on. It's very dewy. It's the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation and I love the way that it looks, but after a few minutes actually it's very luminous and very dewy. If you like that look, then I'd recommend that foundation, but if you were a very oily person, I wouldn't recommend it at all. So if I'm looking very glowy throughout this video, that's why. Anyway, after the longest intro, actually it's not the longest intro, but after one of the most pointless intros of all time, I'm just gonna get to swatching all of my blue eyeshadows. Okay, I'm gonna start first with the really big palettes in my collection because they are big and I want to get them off my desk and out of the way. First of all, I'm gonna start with the James Charles eyeshadow palette. This one has 4 blue eyeshadows. Like my other swatch video where I swatched all my purple eyeshadows, I don't have anything on my arm other than some moisturizer that I used on my body this morning. So I'm just gonna get my fingers up into this and we'll get swatching. Now, I know the color blue is a very personal color. There's all different shades and undertones. Some people might argue that some of these blues aren't blues, that they're green, but I have found that people see blue very differently. All right, that's already going absolutely everywhere. It's very powdery. If you see those little patches on my arms, that's just dermatitis or the scars of. I'm not a leper, I promise. It's already a very patchy blue. Let's move on. This one's a little bit more of a blue purple, or maybe more of a, what's the word? Periwinkle? Definitely not blue. It's more purple than anything. Okay, that's purple. I'm gonna go into this darker blue in the palette. This one's more of a dusty dark blue. Okay, that's not bad. Now I know swatches don't really speak to how they're gonna apply on the eye, but this one actually feels like a really good one. That feels nice and smooth. It's not going all chalky everywhere like this one did. And the last blue in the James Charles palette is a metallic one. The other 3 are mattes. This is a metallic. Let's see how this one goes. A bit meh. Give this video a like if you want to see me destroy my James Charles palette. If I reach 50 likes on this video, I'll destroy my James Charles palette. Okay, that's not a bad blue. Kind of had to build it up a few times. I'm not mad at that one. Kind of mad at that one because it's a bad swatch, first of all. And that's on me. Not bad, not bad. It's early stages yet. I might find a better blue just yet. So those are the blues from the James Charles palette. Moving on to the Jaclyn Hill palette. Ooh, controversy. I didn't actually really buy into all of the drama and the controversy that happened with Jaclyn Hill's latest palette. I didn't really go into the drama. I'm just so sick of it. I think the beauty world is sick of it too because I heard a little wind of it and then that was it. No one really made any videos about it. So thank goodness, drama, the beauty world is learning. Don't feed into the drama and just back off Jaclyn Hill already. Come on, girl's been through a lot. Okay, there's that blue there. Really getting my finger all up in there. Ooh, that's a really pretty blue. I wonder if this is gonna stain my skin. Ooh, okay, that's really pretty. Okay, that's nice. I like that one. It's probably more of a purpley blue than a blue blue. in person it's not as vibrant as it looks on camera, but it's okay too. I need some like something to clean my finger off here. Okay, so that's the one blue from the Jaclyn Hill palette. Moving on to my Morphe Brushes 35B. Now this one's a pretty old one, so I don't know how pigmented these colors are going to swatch. I know from the beginning anyway they were already pretty chalky, dusty, and patchy to begin with. This one just feels like I'm rubbing my finger on very high light grade sandpaper. Okay. Okay, barely there. Moving on, that's not even worth my time. This is the other blue in the 35B. This one is a metallic one and it feels a lot more smooth. Metallics will be a lot smoother than matte because they just are naturally created that way. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Okay, that one has surprised me because that is from a very old palette. I've had this one for years when Morphe first came out. Morphe actually follows me on Instagram, would you believe? They followed me way back in the day when I was, you know, when they first started creating products. And I followed them and I bought some of the products and I tagged them in a lot of my posts. And Morphe Brushes followed me and they still follow me to this day. But I just don't know if they actually know I exist anymore. Because I'm not a big influencer. Alright, moving on to the last blue in the 35B. This one here. This one is another matte. This one feels a lot smoother though. Oh, okay, that's really pretty. Okay. Ooh, that's a very beautiful matte blue. Very vibrant, even in person. It's almost the same shade as the metallic one, but it's matte, not metallic. Duh. Okay, so far Morphe's older palettes are delivering even more than their James Charles one. Go figure. Okay, that's really pretty. I like that one. Okay, now I think a lot of my subscribers thought I was doing pink next after the purple, but I did a poll and blue and pink won 50-50. I did another poll and I think blue won by like 2 votes. So I'm doing blue first and then I'll do pink in the next episode. So that's the 35B. Next one is the Morphe Brushes 35U palette. And there's probably really only 2 shades here. Like, I don't know if you guys would read that as green or blue. Let me know in the comments if you think that's green or blue. That one's definitely blue in my eyes. That's probably more of a turquoise, but I'm going to swatch that one anyway. But let's swatch this one first. Get all my fingers all up in there. Ooh, that's pretty. I actually like that shade of blue. As you can see, all these blues are different shades from each other. Different undertones, but I like this one. Oh, I like that one. I'm gonna swatch that again. That's really pretty. Okay, there's a few blues come into play. Okay, the other blue in the Morphe 35U is this one here. The one that I think might be green. No, it might be blue as well. Yeah, I think that's blue. Looks green in the pan though. It's swatching more blue than it looks in the pan. That's nice. I like that one. Okay. Some of Morphe's old palettes are definitely already winning. I still have a few palettes to go, so let's just keep on going. This one is the BH Cosmetics Foil Eyeshadow Palette. Now this one is also very, very old and much older than even the Morphe palettes that I have. This is one of the very first palettes that I ever owned. My finger all up in there. Okay, not bad. It feels a little bit flaky, and it's one of those shades that are already kind of like flaking off the more I blend it into the skin. It's a very pretty color though. Okay, we started off very weak here, but it's definitely gotten stronger as further along we go. My hand is stained blue, but I swear I'm taking off all the blue that I can before I swatch the next shade. Okay, I'm excited about this one actually. This one is the Bretman Rock Wet Collection with ColourPop. So this is the first one. This is the shade Mood in the Bretman Rock Wet Collection. I'm gonna have to make these swatches more close to each other because I'm gonna run out of space on my arm. So if I go along like this, so that when I take my thumbnail, be like... That's nice. That's really nice actually. Alright, this is the shade I'm Chillin'. It's very chalky and powdery, as you can see from the fallout there. Comment down below if you want to see any eyeshadow looks using any of these palettes, literally anything. I'm always open to your video requests and your suggestions, so just like leave them in a comment. Chuck them down below in a comment. Alright, this one is the I'm Chillin' shade from the Bretman Rock palette. It's about as patchy as it felt in the pan. Okay, moving on. This is the shade LOL I'm Crying. This one feels very soft. Feels metallic. Okay, it started strong and ended up nowhere. Ooh, okay, I think that's definitely more green than blue, but it's very, very glittery. It almost looked like a micro pressed glitter type of shade. Okay, that's really pretty. I like that. It's kind of green though. Guys, is that green or blue? Moving on. This is the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. There is one blue in this palette, which is this one here. It's a metallic one. Feels very smooth, very nice. Very nice. Again, started strong, ended nowhere. This is a pigment you really have to press in. It's okay once you build it up. It's definitely fine once you build it up, but I don't know. It's still not quite as opaque of a blue or intense of a blue as I would like. It looks good on camera though. Okay, I have a Makeup Geek pressed foiled eyeshadow. This one also is fairly old, so I'm not going to say that the way it feels and applies in swatches right now is any reflection on how Makeup Geek's eyeshadows swatch right now, because this is an old one, so just keep that in mind. It feels fairly smooth though, just a little bit dry, but that's probably because, again, like I said, it's fairly old. Ooh, that looks green. And did you see that big chunk fall off? Again, it's because it's dry. It's almost like a duochrome. I think it is a duochrome actually. This one is the Makeup Geek shadow in the shade Pegasus. It's a foiled eyeshadow. It's not a duochrome. It's a very, very pretty shade though. I'm not quite sure if I would call that blue. It looks definitely more blue on camera, but in real life it has more of a green, yellow-green shift to it. Alright, moving right along to my Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. This one is the shade Soaked, and this is the shade Delicious, and this is the shade Brain Freeze. So I'm going to swatch these three shades right here. I'm gonna go in first with Brain Freeze. Again, Jeffree Star matte shadows are so smooth. There is like nothing chalky about these shades at all whatsoever. So pigmented, they're fairly powdery, but they're very, very smooth. Don't feel dry at all. I feel like this is something you need to really build up and blend in. Gotta be gentle with this pigment, I feel. Ooh, that is one opaque matte right there. That's really pretty. I love that. Look how opaque that is on camera. And it's just as opaque here in my skin. You can barely see my skin through it. Wow. Okay, Jeffree Star ain't playing. Next one is the shade Soap. Again, this is a matte one that I feel needs a fair bit of blending up, but it builds beautifully. Still not as good as this one though, I feel. Almost as good as this Morphe one. And this one is a lot older in my palette. It's a very different undertone to this one. Very, whew, that's a good swatch right there, if I do say so myself. And last but not least, this is the shade Delicious. That one's very soft as well. Okay, a little bit of a patchy streak there, but let's build it up. Oh, I've got blue all over my palette. Got blue all over my palette. That's a really nice deep navy blue. If you wanted to deepen up any dark look, I'd recommend going for that one because that's really beautiful. It's almost the same deep navy blue as my shirt. Alright, the next one is the Dubious Place Afrique palette, and there's only one blue in here. I'll go with that one. This one looks a lot more dusty blue on camera than it is in person. In person, it's a lot more of a bright, vibrant navy blue, but it's just not picking up on camera as such. This one feels very, very soft, a similar texture to the Jeffree Star blue shadows. Let's see if it swatches the same. Let's go another layer. Still kind of patchy. It's patchy in person. It's almost the same shade as this one, but it's definitely more patchier than this one. That's for 100% sure. Alright, moving on. The next one is the Juvia's Place Warrior 3 palette. I'm gonna clean that off my finger. I'm gonna have a blue finger by the end of this. Alright, the next one is the Warrior 3 palette. This one has two blue ones. This is a metallic and this is a matte. This one is in the shade Congo. Ooh, that's pretty. Definitely a metallic. You need to press into the skin because it's going kind of flaky. Oh, you need to press that one in, sister. Press it in, because I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's just flaking everywhere. Not a bad metallic. It doesn't really wow me though with its vibrance. This is in the shade Gola. Pick up a fair bit. Okay. See if I can build it up like I did the Jeffree Star ones. Blend it in, make it look as nice and smooth and opaque. I want to give it as fair of a chance as any of the other shades. Now, it's a very pretty shade and it gets to be quite opaque, but it'll probably take up a little bit more blending and building up than these ones from Jeffree Star. Pretty though. The next one is the Magic palette from Juvia's Place. This one has probably only one blue. I reckon that's the only blue in the palette. The other ones are either grays or purple. They might shift towards blue, but this one I think is the only true blue in the palette. This one is the shade Yejidi. It feels very chalky, not very smooth, but we'll see how it swatches. So it's a very beautiful deep navy blue. It's definitely more of a rich blue undertone than the Jeffree Star blue one. This one has definitely more of a deep gray undertone, and this has more of a rich blue purple undertone. They both swatch quite similarly. They both need just as much building up as the other. They're quite similar actually. It's just this one looks a lot more rich in color. The next one is the Juvia's Place Masquerade palette, and this one only has two blues in it. This one kind of looks green in the pan, but it could also be blue. Who knows? This is one of the things that stumps me every time. Is it green? Is it blue? I don't know. So I'm gonna swatch the shade called Zola first. It's one of those metallics that kind of flakes everywhere, so you kind of need to blend and press it into the skin. But I feel like that's the same with a lot of metallics anyway. You have to really press it in. It's pretty though, quite vibrant. I feel like though as you move the skin around, it kind of flakes off. And this one is the shade Dahlia in the same palette. That's a really pretty one. Ugh, I love that one. It's a very vibrant blue, this one, and it swatches beautifully as well. It still kind of flakes because it is a metallic, but look. The next one is Saharan. This one is probably more of a green blue. That's in the shade Berber. Running out of arm space here. Okay, so many good ones here, and I've kind of been saving my favorite for last. I'm not gonna say it's the best for last because I don't quite know yet. I haven't swatched it for a while, but I think this one is my favorite blue. This one is the Nubian 2, and it's this shade here called Cleopatra, and I know I absolutely love this shade. It's such a royal blue. I think this is the only navy metallic blue that I've swatched so far. And lucky it's the last one because I'm running out of space. I think this is the only navy metallic blue that I have in my whole entire collection. Oh, stunning. Look at that. I'm going to quickly show you a close-up of all of the blues that I've swatched on my arm. And then we're going to go through what I feel like was the best of them. Because I was actually pleasantly surprised. There's a lot of good ones here. But I'm going to kind of break it down for you guys. And we'll talk about what I think is the best blue out of all the blues in my collection. Alright, let's break it down now. Oh, my gangster now. My hand shall be forever blue from here on out. My one finger is going to look like I'm not getting any blood to it because it's all blue. Alright guys, let's break it down. What is the best blue in my entire eyeshadow palette collection? Well, to be completely honest, it's kind of relative because blue I feel is a very personal color. There are certain different types and shades of blue that everybody likes. Different people resonate with different levels of blue. So what I'm just going to share then with you guys what I think is the most blendable, pigmented, easy to build up, easy to blend, easy to get a nice opaque color. And I'm going to choose a metallic and I'm going to choose a matte. So it's lucky because the best mattes I've found kind of all come from the same palette, and then there's one matte from another palette. So I'm finding there's a lot of good blues here, and I'm going to choose more than one because then I can recommend to you guys more than one. It's good to have, you know, variety is the spice of life. First of all, I'm gonna go in with the Jawbreaker palette. Now, these three here, so these three here are from the Jawbreaker palette. These ones are very smooth and very pigmented. They were easy to build and blend up, and as far as mattes go, they're actually really, really good. I found that mattes are probably the colors that are more difficult to blend up and build up in color. These are very opaque. It took a little bit of building up, but once we got there, it's very opaque. If you were gonna buy the palette based on just those blues, I would say go for it. And from my Swatch My Stash video where I was swatching all the purples, the purple matte in this palette was the best matte purple that I found as well. So Jeffree star for the win. I can't speak to any of the other shades, but the purple and the blues, definitely a thumbs up for those matte shades there. Now this deep navy matte here, this one was from the Juvia's Place Magic palette. That one was stunning. It's just really intense and really rich, and I would definitely recommend this palette in general. I think this palette is beautiful in general, but if you wanted to buy it specifically for that blue, I would say absolutely go for it because it's beautiful, it's deep, it's rich. It's matte, so it took a bit of blending up, building up, but it's beautiful. Look how opaque that navy blue is. There are a few, again, like I said, there are a few. The one that really surprised me was the Morphe 35B. These two shades here, I thought they were going to kind of be chalky. I wouldn't recommend buying the whole palette just for these two because I've found that a lot of the other shades are kind of a little bit of duds. But if you can find the palette secondhand, you can depot them or like depan them and put them in another palette. But these two blues really surprised me because the rest of the shades out in this palette I found are kind of nee. These two here, very pigmented and very, very blue. They were easy to build up, they were easy to swatch, easy to blend into the skin. And last but not least, that one there, I already knew I was gonna make the list because this shade Cleopatra from the Juvia's Place Nubian 2 palette, oh my goodness, it's gorgeous. Look at this. Look at this blue. It's just stunning. I love this navy blue shade. I wanna just like cover my eyelids in it right now. Now again, there are a lot of good blues in this pile here. Like, I'm not saying don't buy any of the other palettes. I'm just saying what's the best of a lot of good ones that I've swatched here today. So that's my little breakdown for you guys. The blues in these 4 palettes definitely a win for me. I feel like the others are okay. They're just not the best. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, guys, please give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for the next Swatch My Stash episode where I'm going to be swatching all the pink eyeshadows in my entire eyeshadow palette collection. So stay tuned for that one. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. I put a new video out every single Sunday, and you can also follow me on social media for all the behind scenes. I'm also now on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. All of them are lifeaskikay. I appreciate you guys that you've chosen to spend your time here with me today. Me and all my blue shades. Feeling very blue today. Feeling very, very blue. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Hey guys, it's... Hey guys, it's Judy here with my... Life is King. I forgot how to say my intro. Blendabilityist. That was, did I say I was gonna swatch the other one? Now, again, there are a lot of glued blues.